Hey YouTube, I'm back with a new deck profile video. In this deck profile, I'm going to be covering Dimension Robos, subclan of the Dimension Police. So, haven't done a Dimension Police deck profile in a long time. I feel like I haven't posted one, at least. I know I did Sinbusters back in Legion format, so it has been a really long time. I think I did do the Daikaiser Legion one at some point, but other than that, I haven't really covered them in a long time. Because I did manage to pull the Stride unit, like 3 copies of it, in fact, so I got them right here, which this guy's probably the most valuable in terms of competitive play. This one, I feel, is like one of the best ones from the Fighters collection, and I was lucky enough to pull these 3 just straight. Out of 4 boxes, I did pull 3 of these. That means like 3 of the boxes had one of these each. So it is a GR, so it's kind of hard to come by. So I did reassemble my Daikaiser deck. So for those wondering, I kind of don't like Dimension Police all that much. This is my take on the Daikaiser build. So those who I know there's like lots of different ways to build this deck. I feel like the Daikaiser pure way is the best way to ensure this guy actually works. Because you need Kaiser in the art. And because of the weird like grade lineup to run a lot of Kaisers, running Dayusha and then having to ride Dayusha is kind of really bad, so that's why I'm not running the Legion. So anyway, for some reason I feel like Break Ride is trying to see like because of the grade 2 sub meta or whatever you want to call it going on with like Ripple and then like people staying at grade 2 and people running Cat Butler with what's that guy's name? The grade 2 11k and Noah Grappler. That troll deck that has, what is that guy's name? It's like the old card that Kamui used. It's a grade 2 with 11k. Brutal Jack, Cat Butler, and then Ripples, depending on where you are, what type of anti-meta decks you come across. So I feel like Break Ride is like coming back. They're seeing a revival because of those type of decks out there. Because these type of decks can really punish those decks, just the way like Minerva used to and those type of things. But anyway, Daikaiser, he's one of the best Break Rides in the game. Popular opinion, I think him and I can't remember what was the other guy, the Link Joker one, Infinite Zero. He was another really good one. But anyway, this guy, him and Mordred, him and I think Infinite Zero, I feel like were 3 of the best Break Rides. So, Daikaiser, really good. Everyone knows what he does. If you ever played against him, you hate him. Next, I am running the Cross Ride. So, I went with Ultimate Dimensional Robo Daikaiser because the Cross Ride is really good against Aqua Force. Because they have so many things that can hit 11k now on first attack, which is really annoying. So, Cross Ride is really good still. It's a little slow. So that's why I'm only running 3 of this guy, but he does have Kaiser in the name, so he does work with this if you have to open it up with him. And he does have the ability to go triple drive, just like the Stride, so without having to discard a card. So that's pretty good. And then for the only other 2 grade 3s, I am running 2 Super Dimensional Robo Shadow Kaiser, because he can fetch you, he can Superior Break Ride something when he's on rear guard, so just like in the show. So I'm with 9 grade 3s, they're all Kaiser, so they all work with him. So it's like the most consistent build in my opinion. You can run the Legion, but like I said, you have to run the Daikaiser Legion mate, and that's taking up grade 3 space, and if you have to ride that thing, it's really bad. You don't want to be sitting at grade 2. So, grade 3, 4 of the best support card that they've ever gotten. So 4 Dimensional Robo Dai Bazooka. This is the card that along with this, I feel like Dimension Police got like the best Dimension Robos. I guess specifically Kaiser got the best support in Fighters Collection, because this thing fixes the problem that Dimension Robos had, where they had to run like a lot of grade 3s, kind of like Asura Kaiser, to get their effects, to get the guard break effect to actually work. So this fixes that problem. So now you only have to run like 9. You could potentially even run 8. But I like the 9 because I feel like, first of all, it does give you extra stride fodder, and second of all, it still does make it more likely for the effect to happen. So 9 plus 4 of these, that's a lot more. That's like, what, 13 different grade 3s, potentially, because this guy is treated as a grade 3 on the trigger zone when you have a Kaiser Vanguard, so that's really nice. Next, 4 Die Dragon, just to push the opponent with poking with 12Ks, and then we have 3 Dementia Robo Dijet. So this was their support card they got in their extra booster last year. So it's still a pretty good card. It is GB restricted, but they will stride with that many grade 3s. So that's the grade 2 lineup. For grade 1s, 4 Dimensional Robo Die Shield. You gotta run the Dimension Robo ones, mainly because of the Great Daikaiser. He's in his Special Counterblast too. Next, 4 Die Line Limit Break Enabler. Just because it allows you to break ride at less than 4 damage. It can allow him to potentially do a triple drive at like 2 damage. Because he needs 2 counterblasts. Or even Shadow Kaiser can do his thing early. So, or like force a break right early. Next, 4 of the promo card, Dementia Robo Operator Yuka. She's in here actually to help get the big column, big numbers. So, when it's placed on R, it's GB1 skill. When it's placed on R, choose one of your other units with Dementia Robo, and it gets 4,000. So, this can make that 16. You know, it can make good numbers. And then 1 Laurel. So I am only running 1 Laurel because I only have 1 Laurel. Laurel is... the funny thing is, it is worth mentioning, I think he is limited to 1 in the Japanese meta. And I don't understand, I really don't understand why Bushiroad doesn't just make us use the same list. So the funny thing is, I'm not actually going to bother even getting any more of these, because if they do, and I hope they do, make the ban list come over here, this deck won't be hit by the ban list, at least mine won't. So I'll be thrilled about that. So anyway, 1 Laurel, I feel like this is fair. Laurel at 1 is fair. This deck is still really good. Don't get me wrong. You get the 1 Laurel and you're up against someone who cannot retire your rear guards. It's pretty much good game right there. GG. So 13 grade 1s because I am running the 9 grade 3s. For the trigger lineup, 4 of the Die Battles because, like I said, it's special counterblasting. This is the only card that you cannot use for counterblasting for this guy. So make sure. If you're gonna play the deck exactly the way I've built it, make sure you counterblast this thing as fast as you can with like Daikaiser's Break Ride skill or Shadow Kaiser or whatever, or even like the Stride units. You counterblast it off with that. So, and then just 4 more critical. So 12 critical because you could just end the game really fast. And then 4 Dimensional Robo heals. So this trigger lineup is very aggressive. Like I said, it can rush the opponent down. They want to hold it grade 2, then whatever. That's why we run this guy, Goyusha, as a starter. Goyusha can really mess the opponent up so bad if they lock themselves at grade 2. So, he does minus you for early, but you get Twin Drive way earlier than the opponent, potentially. So you do make back those cards, and you will potentially have a better hand than them, helping you Twin Drive into Laurel and stuff like that. So... Plus, he's a proper booster, a 5K booster rather than a 4K booster. For the strides, it is 3 Daikaiser Leon. I think he's the best stride unit, most powerful stride unit from Virus Collection. And I personally don't like the Dimension Police that much, but I do recognize when a card is good. Next, 2 Cosmic Hero X Tiger. X Tiger, in this deck, he will be the first stride, and you will flip up one of those, for those wondering how the deck works. Oops. And then 2 Great Die Earth. And then the last stride unit, potentially, if you have 4 of this, you can run the 4th one. But I am just running 1 Pretty Cat. It doesn't really matter. Like, it could be any one of these other cards as the last one. Or it could be, yeah, I think this is probably just a good backup. Or it could even be like Blizza or something. With Blizza with 12 criticals is really annoying. So the way the stride deck works, for those wondering, if you only have 3, if you can only afford 3, or if you only have 3, stride him first, flip up one of these, so the G zone will look like this. So it'll be like this. So he'll be able to get his 4K effect. You use this type of stuff, and he can potentially get up to 45 on that first stride. Then second stride, you start going into this guy, depending on the situation, because sometimes sometimes the opponent, you may know that the opponent has like 2 perfect guards or something, and if depending on what their damage is at, like if they're at say 2 damage or even like 1 damage, you may want to go into this guy instead. But usually you'll start going into him, and then you'll just stride him again. So, and you'll like flip other stuff up. So later on, this guy can be really, really tough. So, or you can call like other stuff out. So it really just depends. But I feel like he is good as a second stride, at least with 3 cards. So let me know in the comments what you think of the Dimension Robo deck that I built. I think like right now Kaiser is probably like the best one. The Metalborgs with the Laurel thing, they need to kill that deck off, because I think it's really kind of dumb. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.